Good morning, everybody. It is November the 1st, 2016. Time to kick off another trading day. I think one of the most interesting pieces of news that came out overnight was that Trump is now ahead in the ABC Washington Post poll by 1 point, and even with a Democrat oversampling of 10%. So Trump's probably more ahead than the mainstream media would likely have us to believe. And this is important. Yesterday, the selling of the stock market was blamed on several of the articles said Wall Street is saying that Trump is going to win the election. That's why the stock market sold. So that could be a factor today. FOMC starts today. The announcement will be tomorrow. No one expects Feds to raise interest rates tomorrow. If they did, it would certainly hurt Hillary's chances. They raise interest rates tomorrow. It would be a surprise, unexpected piece of news. And if that were the case, if the market moves against your positions when the news hits, you just have to dump at the market and take any price you can get. Now, if this were to happen in December, it would be expected news. The Fed's expected to raise interest rates 0.25%. And if they didn't raise interest rates, that would be surprise news, and you'd have to dump your position if you're on the wrong side of the market. So we have to be cognizant of that. There is a small chance, the market's putting it less than 15% that the Fed will raise interest rates tomorrow. My guess is no. So we find ourselves probably in a trading range. You see structurally up here, this 129.28 to 130 even area is pretty good resistance. Obviously, we got to get through 24 to get to that. So I've got the first sell at 23 to 27. Sell 1. I'm playing for a trading range today. Then 31 to 03 for sell 2. On the buy side, 9 to 13. Stock markets are pointed higher today. I think they've got a chance to trade higher. We'll see. If they don't, we're going to have to pay up to get in. It may take 17s to get in, depending on what goes in the stock market. Then 1 to 5 for buy 2. French and Italian banks are closed overnight. We do have some news this morning. Motor vehicle sales 17.6 million. That number can come in a little lower than forecast based on all the discounting going on right now. My guess is it might come in. It probably will come in just a little bit, but it's still above 17 million. I think 17.4 is the worst number we've seen this fall, and that's a pretty healthy number. PMI manufacturing 53.3 could come in higher than forecast. ISM manufacturing 51.6. This is the focus, the news focus today, right here. That one could come in lower than forecast. The PMI numbers have been coming in running higher than forecast. The ISM numbers have been running lower than forecast the last month. And construction spending plus 0.6. I haven't seen that hit the forecast in a long time. I was about to say a year. So my guess is that one's going to come in lower than forecast. So the focus is ISM manufacturing right here, and the direction of the stock market. There's the news is really interesting on Zero Hedge. There's a great article out, and it talks about the father of propaganda. He was a Madison Avenue. He was in advertising, and I haven't posted the article, but it's if you got time to read it today. Inside the Invisible Government War, Propaganda, Clinton and Trump. And Bernays is the guy, and some of his comments really are quite sobering, but it's what we deal with today. And if you look at all the polls and all the rigging and how by omission a lot of the news is not being reported today. You can see how pervasive that thinking and those ideas and those concepts are in today's media. And the polls are a perfect example that Hillary's lost 10 or 11 points in the mainstream media polls over the last week. Getting close to the election, they have to maintain their ability to influence, they have to have some credibility. And so the last 2 weeks before a president gets elected, you see the poll numbers come in and get closer to reality. All part of the way we are shaped and manipulated these days. Okay, looking at the 30-year, 24 to 28 is number one, sell one, 31 to 03. A lot of calls were bought yesterday and the day before. In 63.11 to 15. On the buy side, first little band of support 8 to 12. 1 to 5 will be buy one. And number 2 will be 21 to 25. I'm guessing trading range for treasuries, a lot of it dependent on what goes on in the stock market. Now the bonds tend to move sideways into the FOMC announcement and can move big time after that if the news is away from the consensus estimate for what they're going to do or the idea. Stocks tend to trade up into the FOMC announcement. The hitch this time is the election, which, if you believe yesterday's news articles, Wall Street now thinks Donald Trump is going to win. Who knows? Okay, gold's up quite a bit. And that would reflect Trump winning the election also. Fear, the stock portfolio is going to go down. All sorts of bad things are going to happen. So we'll see. Looking at the longer term structure, got a very clean break in the market in this 1305 area. Got a high volume number, and we're there right now at 88. So if we get through 88, the next stop structurally is 1305, stops above 1300. And you can see right here at 1299, the volume starts to fall off quite a bit, and the low volume number is basically 1305 right up there. So resistance is low volume is at 91, so first sell is 90.92, and 95.97 for sell 2. I think we're headed above 1300. We're this close. Once you take out 75, the next stop, whether we like it or not, is 1300 until the news changes. We're at 88 right now. Last rotate down stopped at 82, so 83, 85 by 1. Fairly aggressive, but market is pointed higher. And then 78 to 80 by 2. And there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world too, so that would make you not sell your gold and perhaps buy more. Euro's up, yen's down overnight. And we had that spike midday that took up and broke us up and out yesterday. And closed us strong. We've been selling up until then. It looks like we're getting continuation overnight. So the low, here's London, and it's been trending straight up since London, and we're not getting any kind of setback. So first support's going to be in the 25 area. Buy one will be 25. I have no idea. I haven't seen a hard piece of news that would explain the rally. Other maybe Trump might win. It could be a continuation of that. And you wouldn't want to be in the dollar if Trump wins, right? Sell 150 to 60. What's ironic about all this is that Trump's 28 points is the recipe for growth. Lower taxes, lower regulation, rules and regulations. But that hasn't dawned on many people just yet. Shows you that not a lot of rational thinking is going on at the moment. It's all personal attacks and responding to personal attacks. Crude oil. Goldman Sachs came out, looked for the low 40s. So we've had the market 43 minus, 53 plus, and we made it up just to almost to 52. So take $10 from that, that would make 42 on the downside. So this 40 to 42 area. I was at a Halloween party last night, and my buddies from Coke that I used to trade with, we had some pretty interesting conversations. And the cost of production pretty much is $40. And what you do when you get down to $40 is that the hedger is no longer in the market. The large industrial person with big pockets, deep pockets that can finance those positions. And so they were pretty comfortable at the $40, $42 area is probably the bottom end of the range, and then they had been thinking in terms of $50 plus, maybe selling against 50 right now. So it's a 40 minus, say 50 plus market in their eyes, and they're pretty good at what they do longer term. Firms that have survived financially in very volatile markets, that know how to hedge, have earned the right to be there. And so it was fun. It was fun seeing old friends and, well, shooting the bull with them about which way the markets are going to go. Okay, sell one, and we may be a little bit late. It might be actually 46.75. We're going to put a question mark at 46.75. Maybe rotate back up to 47. So I'd like to sell the 47 area, but we'll put a question mark at 75. Then get through that 47.50 to 47.75. On the buy side, stops below 46, so 46, 46 and a quarter by one. Obviously, we've got to get through 50 to get down there, and then 45.50, 45.75. Yesterday, we were pretty comfortable when we got through 47.50 that we get stops below 47, and that turned out we had a very weak close. Had no lift, no short covering. So those that set their shorts yesterday were comfortable holding them overnight, and we can see that reflected in the overnight session prices. So a seller at 47 plus. On the buy side, we're going to guess lower this morning, 46 even, 46 and a quarter, 45.50, 45.75. Then last but not least, the E-mini. Okay, if yesterday's articles were true, that Wall Street is thrown in the towel, Hillary is no longer going to win the election, then we should have trouble getting through the 2130 area. Right now we're at 23. So we know we've got a buyer below 2120, and right now we've got a seller at 2130. Last rotate up 2 days ago stopped at 2135. So 2130, 2135 is pretty good resistance, and we've had reasonable support at 15 to 20. So stops below 20. might be what we're looking at right now. So 21 to 19. And then we're going to make 2113, 2115 by 2. So basically support 2115, 2120, and resistance 2130 to 35. Now the last rotate up stopped right in here, and we're at 2350. So going to put a sell at 28 to 30, sell 1. 34, 36, sell 2, and I'm going to put a question mark right here at 25, 26. And maybe where we have to get into the market short to see if we do have support in the 1920 area. Motor vehicle sales, 17.6. PMI manufacturing, 53.3. The big one, ISM manufacturing 51.6. This is the market's focus. And construction spending supposedly up 0.6%, but I doubt it. Hadn't come in, hadn't made the numbers yet this year. No reason for it to make it this. So ISM services, and then vehicle sales are pretty much, takes about noon for them to all of them get out. So that would be the second, number 1, and that would be number 2. PMI manufacturing, no one will pay any attention to it. They'll wait and see what the ISM manufacturing number is. And it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. Going to get busy on it and be back with you after that.